In this video, we will be covering three very important topics. The first one is what is Nifty 50 index and what is Nifty Next 50 index and what is the difference between them. And the second one, which probably you might be more interested in, that is which index is better in terms of investment perspective, whether you should invest in Nifty 50 index or you should go with Nifty Next 50 index. And the third one is why there is so much of difference between the returns of Nifty 50 index and Nifty Next 50 index. We are going to cover all these three topics in detail in very simple and step-by-step way. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So our first topic is what is Nifty 50 index and what is Nifty Next 50 index and what is the difference between them. In a stock market based on free float market capitalization, I repeat it again, stock ranking based on free float market capitalization, the first 50 comes under Nifty 50 index and rest 50 falls under Nifty Next 50 index. Now what is this free float market capitalization? Let us understand in very simple way. When we multiply total number of outstanding share with price of each share, that gives the value of market capitalization. But when we multiply publicly owned outstanding share with price of each share, that gives the value of free float market capitalization. Now let us understand what is this term publicly owned outstanding shares. When we subtract the amount of total number of outstanding share which are not available for trading for public, which are held by either government or the promoters or the financial institution, when we subtract this amount from the total number of outstanding share, then we get the value of publicly owned outstanding shares. And to make it further more simple, the shares which are available for trading in stock market for general public like you and me, that are known as publicly owned outstanding shares. And it has been observed that the shares which have greater free float factor tends to be lesser volatile than the company which has lesser free float factor. And that is why throughout the world most of the indexes use this technique of free float market capitalization to construct these indexes. Now let us understand the volatility factor of Nifty 50 index and Nifty Next 50 index, and for that we will look at the standard deviation of both these indices. Standard deviation is basically a parameter which is used to measure volatility, and lesser the value is better. So first look at first year standard deviation of Nifty 50 index, which is 16.98%, and for Nifty Next 50 it is 19.68%. So in first year, in terms of standard deviation, Nifty 50 performs better than Nifty Next 50. Now let us look at the 5-year standard deviation of Nifty 50 index, which is 19.44%, and for Nifty Next 50 index it is 19.52%. Again, the Nifty 50 is performing better in terms of standard deviation than Nifty Next 50 index. And with this, it is obvious that due to higher free float market capitalization, Nifty 50 is lesser volatile than Nifty Next 50. And with this, we will move to our next topic. And the second topic which we are going to discuss is the return analysis of both these indices. And here we will try to find out which index is better in terms of investment perspective. And for that, we will be comparing past 10-year calendar year returns of both these indices. And here we can see that in 5 out of 10 years, Nifty 50 has outperformed Nifty Next 50, and similarly in 5 out of 10 years, Nifty Next 50 has outperformed Nifty 50. And next we will compare the compounded returns of both these indices. And here we can see that in 1 year, in 3 year and in 5-year period, Nifty 50 has outperformed Nifty Next 50, and in 9-year period, Nifty Next 50 has outperformed Nifty 50 in terms of compounded returns. So coming back to the question, which index is performing better in terms of returns, and the answer to this question is both indexes are doing equally good. Sometimes Nifty 50 performs better and sometimes Nifty Next 50 performs better. And we will understand this thing in much better way if we look at the sector allocation of both these indices. And if we look at the sector allocation of both these indices, we can observe that the sector allocation in both these indices is so different. In fact, few sectors which you find in Nifty Next 50 index you won't find in Nifty 50 index, and vice versa. And that is why it is not necessary that if the sector inside Nifty 50 index is doing good, the Nifty Next 50 sectors will do equally good, and vice versa. And if we look at the sector allocation of both these indices, that is Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50, we can observe the similar trend has been following in all these years in sector allocation. And if we observe the stock allocation pattern of Nifty 50 index, we can see that HDFC Group has been allocated 15.85%, Reliance Group 10.40%, and Tata Group 8.52%. So if anything goes wrong with these three groups, it will have major impact on the performance of Nifty 50 index. But in case of Nifty Next 50 stock allocation, the major allocation is in Adani Group of almost 10.3%. 30%. So if anything goes wrong with Adani Group, it will have a major impact on the returns of Nifty Next 50 returns. And that is why we have witnessed a sharp fall, a sharp decline recently in returns of Nifty Next 50 after this Hindenburg report on Adani Group. And the similar volatility may persist till the time this issue get resolved. So what an investor can do in current situation? My recommendation will be this, that you may continue your SIP in both the indices, that is Nifty 50 and Nifty Next 50. But for any fresh lump sum in Nifty Next 50 index, you must wait for at least some time till this Adani and Hindenburg issues get resolved. And it is highly recommended that you must invest in direct index fund plan of both these indices because they have very nominal expense ratios. I hope this video will help you in taking a right investment decision in terms of choosing right index and right index fund to invest in. So if you like this video, do press the like button, and for our upcoming videos on investment, do subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for latest updates. So see you soon in our next video on investment.